It's now been a month since Escape from Tarkov was wiped, and patch 14 was added to the game. In this update, we got the introduction of Ground Zero, the first map to receive a level cap and act as a safe haven for new players to beat Tarkov's harsh learning curve. We saw expansions to Streets of Tarkov and Shoreline, such as the new boss Kalante to Streets, and the new location Smuggler's Camp to Shoreline, and a slew of new weapons like the SIG MCX Spear and RPD. Most notably though, in patch 14, we received a complete overhaul to the armor system, completely changing what we once knew. And in this month's time since wipe, we've been able to experiment through trial and error what the impacts of this change are. There's a lot to cover here, so let's start with the details. Looking over the patch notes and armor, a few things stick out to me, like the addition of 37 ballistic plates, separate ballistic plate zones visually matching the location in the body armor. And body armor protection is no longer uniform and now depends on what areas the body armor visually protects. These three details are going to be our main focus for now, so let me give a brief rundown on what this all means. The majority of armor vests now have a ballistic plate slot that interacts separately from the vest itself. 20 of the 37 plates are universal. They can be removed in exchange for new plates, allowing you to replace broken plates, or even upgrade what tier of plate you use. But some vests use proprietary plates, which will limit your options. The plates have their own zones to protect, which visually match where they sit in the vest. All vests are now made of aramid ballistic fabric tier 2 or 3, and have been separated into different zones to evenly disperse HP. The front, back, sides, groin, neck, and shoulders. These zones only protect where the armor visually covers your body instead of filling the gaps around your body. Let me show you a visual example of what this looks like. Imagine you are wearing this armor vest and you are being shot at in the front. Where do you think the bullets are going to impact? What will happen to this vest after you're shot? If you look at the highlighted zones, the red is where your plates sit, which will absorb the damage first. The blue is your armor vest behind the plates, which only have slight protection against a few calibers. And the green is your sides, which have the least HP and can leave you vulnerable if zeroed. There are also separate neck and groin areas on this vest which can be treated as extra protection for your thorax and stomach. I know some of you saw the thumbnail and are confused why I think those armors are trash. I promise I'll get to that eventually. But first, let's talk about the three variables that affect what armor you choose to bring in a raid. The cost of the armor, how much you pay for it from traders or flea market, and the value it's worth to sell. Armor class, what tier your armor is and what material it's made out of. And weight, how heavy is your armor and how much does it slow you down or reduce your ergonomics. These variables are all key when considering what to choose for your armor. This was a pretty straightforward process. You pick the highest tier, lowest weight, most cost-efficient armor you possibly can. That's how it used to be. Now that the system has changed, those variables account for more factors than before. With how much modulator there is, we have to consider why we would buy an expensive tier 4 or 5 armor whenever the plates can fit in a tier 3 armor. And now that armor has distinct zones of protection, we have to filter out the ones that don't provide certain protections, such as the sides, arm, groin, or neck. And the weight of these vests varies now that the plates can be exchanged for different types, with some vests weighing more than others when they have the plates removed, even though they can accept the same plates. Before I continue, I'd like to mention that the most recent patch we received was rolled back, which reversed changes like certain armor being upgraded from tier 2 aramid to tier 3 aramid. So if we look back at the thumbnail, we can apply this to these armor vests and discern why they're considered trash. The High-Com Trooper vest has tier 2 aramid protection in the front and back, with 50 HP on each side. It's pretty lightweight, sitting at 4.1 kilos, and can accept any of those 20 universal plates in the front and back. But with the lack of protection on the sides and stomach, and the high cost averaging 75k rubles on flea, I just can't recommend spending your money on this armor. A good alternative to this would be the OTV Interceptor rig. It has tier 2 aramid protection in the front, back, and sides, with 48 HP on the front and back, and 18 HP on both of the sides. This vest also accepts universal plates in the front and back, and comes in at 0.3 kilos less than a trooper armor, and it costs less. Next, the Slick Plate Carrier vest has tier 3 aramid protection in the front and back, with 50 HP on each side. The Slick Plate is one of the lightest carriers in the game, sitting at just 1.3 kilos, and can accept any of the 20 universal plates in the front and back, but it also has one of the smallest profiles, meaning the vest encompasses the same amount of space the plates do, so there's no extra protection the vest itself offers. With the price to buy on flea market being 150,000 rubles on average, this vest is just a waste of money for what it gives. Not to mention it sells to Ragman for over 100k, so if you find one, you're better off just selling it. A better alternative to this is the Thor Concealable Vest. It has tier 3 armor protection in the front, back, and sides, with 25 HP on the front and back, and 10 HP on both of the sides. This vest also accepts universal plates in the front and back, and can accept side plates too. It weighs only 1.7 kilos, even though it offers slightly more protection, and at an average cost of 75k rubles, you'd be a fool to pick the Slick Plate over this. Finally, the CQC Osprey Plate Carrier, specifically the Assault variant. This armored tack rig has tier 2 aramid protection on the front, back, sides, neck, and shoulders. With 36 HP on the front and back, 14 HP on each of the sides, 8 HP on the neck, and 12 HP on each of the shoulders. This armor protects quite a lot, being able to accept universal plates in the front and back, and can accept side plates too. Coming in at 6.4 kilos, it's a little heavy for what it offers, and averaging at a price of 160,000 rubles, I just cannot recommend you use this tack rig. Ragman does sell it for 92,000 rubles after completing the task audio file, but he's consistently out of stock. I'm not a big fan of armored rigs to be honest, but a better alternative I like to offer is the Ars Arma CPC Mod 1. It has tier 2 air mid protection in the front, back, and sides, with 40 HP in the front and back, and 20 HP on each side. Even though it has less protective zones than the Osprey, it offers more in places where it matters. It can accept universal plates in the front and back, and also accept side plates. Sitting at 2.7 kilos, this tack rig is incredibly light for what it offers, and with an average cost of 50k rubles, I'd say this is a steal for what you get. For those who are curious, here's what the inside of the two carriers looks like side by side. On the left is the Osprey with 25 tiles, and on the right is the Ars Arma with 23 tiles. So now that we have an idea of the variables that dictate what armor we should use, and the many factors to consider, we can deduce what the best options are for us. If we consider the plate options we have, it opens the doors for customization and tuning. Most of the plates you'll ever need can be bought from level 3 traders. Those are Peacekeeper and Skier for universal plates, and Prepor for proprietary plates. The highest tier they offer is Armor Class 4, and the best universal plate in my opinion is the Spartan Elafros ceramic plate. At a cost of 171 USD from Peacekeeper, it has a weight of 1.6 kilos while providing 45 HP. It is hands down the best armor in its class. If you want to go up a tier in Armor Class, then we'll have to complete tasks to unlock the ability to purchase or barter tier 5 plates from traders. This will also require that you are loyalty level 4 with that trader. After completing the task Insomnia for Peacekeeper, he'll allow you to barter an SAS drive for a Sappy level 3+, a tier 5 ceramic plate weighing 1.8 kilos and providing 50 HP. This plate isn't the best in its class though. That title goes to the GAC 3S15M, a tier 5 polyethylene plate weighing 0.97 kilos and providing 45 HP. This plate can't be purchased or bartered for, but instead crafted in the hideout. After completing the task Living High is Not a Crime Part 2 for Ragman, a craft for the Ars Arma CPC Mod 1 will be unlocked in the lavatory. This tack rig comes equipped with 2 GAC plates and 2 Sappy side plates, and once crafted you can sell the tack rig and the side plates to offset the cost of the craft. The craft only requires 1 GAC plate, 1 air mid, 2 ripstop, and 1 sewing kit. Since it only needs 1 GAC plate and it produces 2, you will always gain a plate after crafting this tack rig. For all other rigs that don't accept universal plates, you'll need to go to Prepper. He only sells tier 4 front plates for his special armor vests, but tier 5 and 6 back plates for some. To unlock level 5 front plates, you'll need to complete the task Reconnaissance for Prepper and Energy Crisis for Mechanic. Both of these tasks are on Lighthouse. So now that we know the best plates we have available to us, what are the best armor vests? I know we've all watched Pestely's tier list on armor, and there's a universal understanding among players as to what is the best or not, but I don't necessarily subscribe to that notion. Now that we can put any plate on any armor vest, I prioritize if I will see my armor back in insurance or not. I don't sacrifice any of the variables discussed either. I make sure to use the absolute best I can while having the best chance of seeing my investment come back to me. Thinking back to what players universally think is the best, I can rule out certain armors I know would be picked off my body if I was killed in raid, and I can deduce what armors have the least chance of being sifted through. The majority of players still have the mindset that aligns with everything we knew before the armor overhaul. When you kill someone and see they were wearing a Juk press vest, you think to yourself, that was a good armor choice, I should take it for myself. You will more likely think, what a terrible choice, no wonder he died. And since we can put any tiered plates we want in that rig, we can guarantee we have the best protection available, and if I do die in combat, there's a good chance I'll see my armor again. I've been doing this for a few weeks, and I consistently get my armor back in insurance. This choice I make will reduce the amount of rubles I spend on armor in the long run, while still allow me to use the best I possibly can. So here are the 4 armor vests I recommend you use from now on. All of these armor vests are available from traders early in the game and can also be bought from the flea market for less than 50k. The upgraded plates for these armors can be acquired through attaining level 3 loyalty with traders and completing a few tasks. The BNTI Karasa N armor, the BNTI Juk press vest, the 6B23-1 digital flora, and the 6B13 assault armor. All of these armor vests have air mid level 2 protection in the front, back, neck, and sides. With the 6B series armors having additional groin protection, I believe that level 2 air mid protection is all that you need, and that in the end level 3 air mid vests don't help you enough to be significant. The Kurasa is the only vest that accepts universal plates in the front and back, as well as a few Russian plates too. It weighs 3 kilos, and these are the armor stats. The Juk press vest can only accept specific plates in the front that are only available from Prepper, but the back of the vest can accept universal and Russian plates, and the rig can also accept side plates. It only weighs 2.3 kilos, and these are the armor stats. The 6B23-1 only accepts 3 plates in the front and 3 plates in the back, which are only available from Prapor. It doesn't come equipped with a back plate, but Prapor sells a Tier 4 plate at Loyalty Level 2 for 12k. Tier 5 armor is available for this rig after completing the quest Reconnaissance. It weighs 3.3 kilos empty, but since the options are so limited, it really weighs 9 kilos with the plates in. And here are the armor stats. Last is the 6B13. This armor is best left as is and is an excellent choice for when you want to get something in a pinch. It weighs 10.6 kilos, which is quite a bit. Here are the armor stats. I did some research on all 4 of these armor vests just to see how drastic the changes were regarding uniform protection and interior ballistic plate zones, and the results were surprising. I used 9x18 PGZH for this experiment. Going through all 4, I noticed that when I shot the sides of the armor between the vest section and the armpit, there was no direct damage to the PMC. All of my shots for all of these vests were impacting the side segment of the vest, which goes against what Battlestate said was changed. I also noticed that the hitbox for the neck armor was a little finicky. I tried as best as I could, but it would register a hit for the chest segment. Next, I wanted to see how fine the partition was between the plates and the vest. Best example I have is with the press vest. I shot just at the edge of the text on the P in press, and worked my way in. I made an impact with the plate halfway between the P and R, so based on the results, I'd say they were true to what their goal was. Lastly, I wanted to see how efficient the side plates are, and assess their value in the vest. So I shot the plates using 7.62x39 PS ammo, and the plates managed to take 2 shots before breaking. I was quite impressed with the results I got, and after discovering that the armor is still uniform in a way, I felt confident that the vest I chose were adequate. I was especially impressed with the performance from the side plates, and I think those are a must if you can get them. I know a lot of you are going to disagree on this take, so I welcome you to comment your thoughts on this. If you learned something new today, it would be appreciated if you left a like. It lets me know that you got something of value from my video, and it helps spread the message to other people. If you'd like to see me make a tier list on armor or discuss any other topics, just let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching.